Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you that are new here, hey, my name is Tenna and welcome to my circus. Today is Super Bowl Sunday, so yes, I am donning my Patriots gear. Yes, I'm a Pats fan. So live in California, game doesn't start till 3, so I've got a lot of time to kill this morning, so we are gonna play with some makeup. So what I did is I got my hands on a bunch of just new makeup, things that I've kind of picked up, shopping, you know, just kind of things that are people are talking about or not necessarily talking about, cool new finds, things like that. We've got quite a few cool things to test out. If this is something that you're interested in seeing, go ahead and stick around. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below, and we will go ahead and jump right on in to all of this new and known stuff. Alright, so I was able to get my hands on a bunch of cool new things. It's all really random, and we're just gonna kind of go through these, test them out, see if I like them, see if they're cool. Right now I am completely barefaced. Do not have anything on my face right now. I would, however, like to do an honorable mention. If you guys notice that I'm extremely glowy and just have like this really nice healthy looking skin right now, I have extremely dry skin and this winter is just wreaking havoc on my skin. One cool thing that I have recently gotten my hands on that is like amazing game changer is this product right here by Herbivore. It is their Emerald Cannabis Sativa Hemp Deep Moisture Glow Oil. That is a mouthful. But it is a glow oil that is derived from the cannabis plant. It is like a cool green color, and it comes in a nice little dropper. So this stuff has just kind of changed the game as far as my skin goes. I am hydrated, I am glowy, like I feel like I don't even need highlighter half the time because I'm just glowing on my own. So anyways, honorable mention, I've been using this every day. I think it's about like 40 bucks, something like that. I got it on Sephora, and it's by Herbivore. So if you have really dry skin, try this stuff. It's amazeballs. So first things up, I'm just gonna kind of go in order of how I do my makeup and we'll just go from there. I don't necessarily have any new like skin products like foundations or concealers, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with my usual, which right now I'm going through a very light makeup phase, nothing that's full coverage. So my favorite for that is actually this stuff right here by MAC, is the MAC Next to Nothing Face Color. I am in the shade Dark. They only have a very limited range because it's such a thin, you know, foundation formula that one of these bottles can really work for the skin tone of like 6 or 7 people. It's a very, all it really does is it just kind of like evens out the skin tone, but if you're looking for like insane coverage, this is not it. However, I like this, it's breathable, it makes me glowy, it really helps with dry skin. So this is what I'll be using. And then for my concealer, my tried and true, my bareMinerals bareSkin concealer, my favorite. So the one thing that is new here is that I'm used to usually using my usual beauty blenders. They're about 20 bucks, they're expensive, they're a little bit of an investment. And lately, when I've been watching a lot of makeup videos, I've noticed that people are really swearing by the Morphe Sponge. This guy is like $8 versus spending $20. So I want to try it out, see if I like it as much or if not more than the beauty blender. So I'm going to go ahead and open this guy up. So it feels really nice. It feels very sturdy. It is different than the regular beauty blender. It does have that nice egg shape here, but then it also has these really flat sides. That's probably going to be really good for getting in the under eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and wet the sponge really quick. I'll be right back. Alright, so here we go. Sponge is all nice and wet, obviously a lot bigger. So we're going to go ahead and try this out. It definitely is far more dense than your typical beauty blender. Like here's a beauty blender that's not wet, but it's definitely got more squish than this one's a little bit more stiff. And the thing that I've noticed is a lot of like the cheaper brand beauty blenders that you can find in like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, they tend to be dense like this, and I don't like them because I don't feel like it pushes makeup into your skin. I just feel like it sucks up all of the product. But anyways, let's go ahead and try this out. We're gonna go ahead and warp speed through my my face routine, and then I'll tell you how I like it as we go. So far it's blending everything in pretty okay, I feel like. I feel like it is soaking up a lot more product than the beauty blender does though. I can't necessarily tell because it's such a thin coverage foundation, but I don't feel like I have as much coverage as when I used my beauty blender. I feel like it's soaked up a lot of product. We will be able to tell though using my concealer. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my concealer, and then let's see if it soaks up all the product there, because this one's a little bit more full coverage. So if this gets soaked up, then we know that the sponge is soaking up all the goodness, and that is what we don't want. All right, I'm gonna take the clean side here with the flat side, and we're gonna all right, yeah, this is soaking up a lot of product. I mean, like, the concealer is going down for sure, but I feel like it's not nearly as full coverage. I mean, the application is flawless. Like, you know, it looks really, really good on the skin. However, I do feel like we soaked up quite a bit of product. So, do I like it enough to replace my Beauty Blender? No. However, if Beauty Blender ended and the world was like over and we couldn't have beauty blenders anymore, this would be a pretty okay sponge to use. I just feel like it soaks up a lot of product, like a lot of product. Like, this is not nearly as full coverage. Like, I kind of want to go in, let me wet my Beauty Blender and let's go in with the concealer, then you will see how much more like full coverage this is. I'll go in with another little layer and see the difference with the Beauty Blender. So as we can see, this definitely looks far more full coverage with the Beauty Blender rather than the Morphe Sponge. Like, I can actually see the product like moving around. Just a little bit more of a close-up. This is the side that we use the Beauty Blender. This is the size that we use the Morphe Sponge. Definite difference as far as coverage on this side of the face. So not necessarily a game changer, not gonna replace it. All right, so final verdict on the sponge, not gonna replace my Beauty Blender by any means. And it actually really reminds me of the Real Technique sponges that took everything over for a while, and I didn't necessarily like the Real Technique sponge either because I felt like it soaked up all the products. So here we are, it's basically another Real Techniques sponge. All right, let's go ahead and move on. I'm gonna go ahead and throw on my brows really quick just because I don't have a new brow routine, and then we will hop into the next part of this tutorial. All right, back, brows are on. Let's go ahead and move on to our next product. We are gonna go ahead and play around with this p.louise Badda black face. Black base, try saying Badda black base 3 times fast. Like, I don't, ugh. Jesus Christ. Okay, so basically, p.louise, this has been like taking the freaking interwebs by storm. I feel like everybody is using the regular base, which I won't use it in this one. I'll use it in another tutorial coming up just because I really want to do like a black smoky eye, because apparently this is supposed to like help make like the deepest, blackest, and like most blendable smoky eye on the planet. So we're gonna see if that's true. However, I do have the regular one here. I'm gonna go ahead and just put a little bit here on the back of my hand just so you guys can see it. And this is in the color, it comes in like different shades, but this is number 01. So it's a pretty light base, and I do a really light one only because you know, my skin tone, it helps to make colors pop more if you have a really light base. So anyway, there it is right there. I'm gonna take my brush. We're gonna go ahead and just kind of do this with it just so you guys can kind of see. It's definitely very opaque. It's very easy to work with, very smooth, but basically that is what it looks like. So it's very nice. From what I can see, it looks like it's very easy to work with, especially when you're doing like a cut crease or something like that. I feel like there's a lot of concealers that you can use for doing a cut crease or setting your eyelids, things like that, but they become too cakey and too goopy. But this one actually dries down very soft, and it's very full coverage. It's really nice. So we're gonna see if the black base is just as good. So I kind of want to, you know, cut it out here. So I'm gonna take a little bit of tape. I'm gonna go ahead and tape off the eyes a little bit so that we can see what we are doing. All right, so eyes are all taped off, so we've got like a nice little sharp line. So we're gonna go ahead and open this bad boy up, and it comes with a brush. So apparently when you put this on, it's supposed to help make a really nice base. It's really easy to blend out. These are all the claims and things like that. So we're gonna go ahead and see like how good these claims really are. So we're gonna go ahead and open this up, put this on the back of my hand to start. Oh, that is definitely black. So we're gonna go ahead and take some here on this brush that they gave us. Oh yeah, that is dark. So let's go ahead and put this on the eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. Yeah, it's definitely black. So I kind of want to go in with just a regular brush and just kind of see what happens if you try to like blend it on its own. Oh, it blends, you guys. Like I've never seen a cream base, it like blends on its own. Like you can like blow this out on its own. And you could almost actually leave this on its own if you wanted more of like a gray smoky eye, but I really want to test out this theory that it gives you like the darkest and most black smoky eye you've ever had. So we're gonna go into one of the most hyped up palettes of the year, this past year, which is the Morphe X James Charles palette. This thing has really taken the world by storm. It's really hit or miss. Some people swear by it being the best thing on the planet, and some people think that it's chalky and over hyped up and all that stuff, but this is what it looks like for those of you that have not seen it. If you haven't seen it, you're probably living under a rock. But we're gonna go ahead and play around with a couple colors. I want to pack on this black here, and then I also want to go ahead and blend it out with this kind of mauve-y shade there. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of like a more of a packing blender type of brush so that we can go ahead and test out this theory. So it's definitely darkened it up. It's giving it that nice deep black base. All right, I'm gonna go in with a nice clean blending brush. I'm gonna go into that mauve shade that I pointed out, and we're gonna go ahead and just go in here and just kind of start blending this all out and together. All right, let's go ahead and peel these off. Ooh, this is a good smoky eye, you guys. Yes, although the tape didn't really help back here, so we're gonna have to clean that up a little bit. Alright, so this came out really clean. It's definitely the blackest smoky eye I've ever had. I actually want to take a little bit of a clean blending brush, and I just want to kind of diffuse this a little bit. I do like the sharpness, but I feel like it can just be blown out just a bit, just to kind of soften the line. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of black eyeliner. I'm going to go ahead and line my bottom lash line, and then I'm going to go ahead and smoke it out with that mauve color again. So we're just going to take this Man-Eater eyeliner from Tarte, and we're going to line our waterline. We're going to take a nice blending brush down here, and we're going to go ahead and just kind of blow out the black. We're going to go in with the small blending brush. We're going to take that mauve color again, and we're going to blow it out along our bottom lash line here. Alright, and next, just because it is so dark, we are going to go ahead and highlight the inner corner. I'm going to go in with this color right here, this beautiful champagne color. We're going to take a little bit on the brush, and we're going to go ahead and highlight our inner corner just to brighten up this very dark, sultry look. Alright, so I went ahead and popped some lashes on, and I will definitely agree that the p.louise base definitely gave me the darkest smoky eye I've ever had, and it's like definitely that like Instagram smoky eye that you've always wished that you like wanted. I have used the James Charles palette quite a bit off camera, and the black is pretty pigmented, but it is not this pigmented, so it couldn't have gotten this dark without the base. I'm just putting it that way. So if you like really dark eyeshadows, if you like the black smoky eye, I would definitely recommend picking this up. I'm not quite sure if it's still available. I know that you can get the neutral shades, and they go through like different things where they have the black, they had like different color bases like reds and purples and greens and blues and all that cool stuff. But so far, this brand is definitely what it is hyped up to be. A lot of people swear by the p.louise base brand in general. It was easy to use. It could blend out on its own, which was really cool. cool and just really easy to work with. I don't see any patchiness. I don't see any, there's no difficulty, nothing on my end. So anyways, let's go ahead and move on. I did realize that with this eye look, I would not necessarily need to use my regular liquid eyeliner, window liner like I always do. And for those of you that have been here for a long time, you do know that I swear by the Pretty Vulgar ink pot. I am out of it, and up until a few days ago, Sephora was sold out of it, so I ordered some, but in the interim, while I was out for a few weeks, I did pick up the new Benefit Roller Liner in the color black. I'm not gonna lie, I have used it, so this is not a first impressions, but I do just want to give you guys my thoughts on it, just because I'm not able to use in this eye look because it's really not needed. But basically this is what it's looked like. Same packaging as the Roller Lash Mascara, but if I can show you guys on the back of my hand here, it is very, very black. So it is like very opaque. It works extremely well. It has like a matte finish and it lasts all freaking day. You know, I go to work, I go to the gym, I do all of these things, and this eyeliner does not budge. So I swear by it. If you've been seeing this in Ulta, you've been seeing people talk about it. It works very, very well. It's extremely black. It goes on really well. It stays on forever. Like, it stays on forever. It doesn't come off until I'm ready for it to come off. It doesn't do that weird thing where when you get oily or sweaty, it starts to smudge. Like, I have not had that problem. So it's actually a very, very good product. Definitely recommend picking this up. Next thing that we are going to play with here is, for those of you that have been here for a while, you know that I use the Butter Bronzer like crazy. It's my favorite bronzer to use. And I've heard people talk about the Butter Highlighter also being very good. So I decided to go pick some up yesterday. This is the Miro Butter Highlighter. This is in the color Champagne. So it's kind of like this goldy, like kind of a champagne color. Smells just like the Butter Bronzer, so it has that like nice tropical, you know, kind of scent, and it looks promising. So let's go ahead and like finger swatch it really quick. Here on the back of my hand, as you guys can see there, definitely has some glow to it. So let's go ahead and try this out on the face. I'm gonna go ahead and get my highlighting brush. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit here. I'm gonna take my brush, go ahead and swirl it around in here, and then let's put it on the face. Ooh. It's definitely like a nice gold highlight. It's definitely got some shimmer to it. So if you are into that very, very intense highlight, this is for you, which I am. Yes, honey. So it's definitely a good glowy one. I will say the one thing that I've noticed that I can actually see my texture a little bit more with this. So it doesn't melt into the skin quite as well as past highlighters that I've used. However, this is really, really good for being drugstore brand. I'm not mad at it at all. Let's go ahead and move on to the final thing that I picked up, which is a lipstick. I actually learned about this last week because my sister was using it, and it's by Milani. It is their matte satin lipstick, and this is in the color Velvet, number 9. So I really wanted to try this out. I thought this would be a really good lip color for the smoky eye, since smoky eye usually do a nude lip. So I wanted to go ahead and try this out, see how it feels. I did notice her using one of these lip colors last week and it looked really, really pretty on her, and it just like really nice coverage. So go ahead and pull this out. It has that nice flat doe foot applicator. So we're gonna go ahead and try this out. This is the color Velvet On. Definitely one swipe coverage. Honestly, you probably could have done 2 mouths with the amount of product that came out of here. And it's definitely a little bit more of a liquid consistency. It's not very creamy like I'm used to. So you do have to be careful with it, because I put it on and it like wanted to go everywhere. So I really had to be careful to carefully maneuver it, which actually makes it really, really easy with a steady hand to make a nice precise line, because you have so much product to work with. However, also makes it very, very difficult to go outside of the lines and completely mess up the lips. But so far it looks like it is drying down to kind of more of like that like velvet lipstick color, like kind of like not color, consistency, kind of like the Kylie Cosmetics velvets. Kind of feels like it's gonna be that same exact consistency. guys, that is the full look that we created with all of these new products that I use. So just as a quick thing, because I feel like we spent a lot of time going over products. First thing, Emerald Glow Oil. I think it's amazing for dry skin. Definitely pick it up. We tested out the Morphe Sponge. Wasn't necessarily a hit for me, not necessarily a miss. I don't think that I think it's the worst sponge I've ever tried, but it's not the best. Definitely not replacing my beauty sponge with it anytime soon. We tried the p.louise Badda Black Base. Definitely worked really well. Gave me the darkest smoky eye I have ever used in my entire life. And it blended really well. I'm really pleased with this look. We went in with the James Charles palette, which I will do more tutorials for you guys in the future, utilizing some of the colors out of here. But so far, I've only really been using the neutral colors and they work really, really well. I'm a fan. There's some people that don't like it. It's super controversial. However, I like it. I think that if you do have a skill for makeup, it's a good palette for you. I don't necessarily think that this is a good beginner's makeup just because there are pigments, there are different types of eyeshadows in here that you do need to work with or know how to work with that require more packing rather than blending, things like that. So this is definitely not a palette for like your everyday, you know, doesn't really play around with makeup, doesn't really understand techniques quite yet. Otherwise, I feel like this palette would be a little bit frustrating to work with. However, if you do know makeup well, you know how to work with pigments, things like that, this is a really cool palette. Next thing that we tried out was the Physicians Formula Butter Highlighter. I definitely liked it. It definitely gives a nice glow, especially for it being like drugstore formula. It's really pretty. The only thing that I didn't like is that I feel like it emphasized my texture just a little bit. I feel like, you know, you can see kind of my pores and things like that. And I feel like there's other highlighters that I have that I feel like fill in the hole. So it just kind of looks like this nice solid layer of highlight. But that one you could definitely see some texture in there. But overall, it's very, very nice highlighter, you know, especially for being drugstore. And the last thing that we tried out was the Milani Satin Matte Lipstick, which so far it has dried down. It's really, really comfortable. I don't have any complaints, you guys. So basically that is it. Oh, and then I also did a quick little demo of the roller liner, which is amazing. By the way, I went and scrubbed all this stuff off the back of my hand. You can still kind of see the line here from the eyeliner, but like it wouldn't come off. Like I used the Pharmacy Green Clean and it wouldn't come off. I used the Neutrogena wipes, like I had to scrub to get it off. So I'm telling you, it has some serious staying power. It wouldn't come off. So good, good, good eyeliner. Otherwise, that is it, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.